to ensure strict supervision of their subordinates, warning that further incidences of this nature will be viewed strictly. He has also ordered an overhaul of the Intelligence Response Team, the Special Tactical Squad, and the Special Weapon and Tactics Units to ensure their operations are in accordance with their clear-cut responsibilities. Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Intelligence Bureau has also been ordered to carry out supervisory roles over the three units to ensure their operations are professional, productive, and not infringe on the fundamental rights of the citizens. Franks is from NTA News.
Well, there are lots of thoughts surrounding public safety and ways to go about it. At an open forum in Abuja, much was discussed on the implementation of the 2022 Police Reform Act. Abdulmalik Hassan tells us more.
Just like every other day, duty calls for these police officers with checks for threat. While their routine work is on, there were reported cases of abuse of power by some police officers. NSAS protest in 2020 seeks to end the violation of human rights. The yearning was heard, and the 2020 Police Reform Act established. Just a few days ago, a video went viral on social media of an unprofessional conduct by a police inspector who was subsequently dismissed.
That is how important police is.
Now, an open forum holds to establish the nexus between public safety and economic growth, citing the implementation of the Police Reform Act.
The focal points of today's open forum is targeted at the implementation of the Act and at providing an effective police force driven by the principles of professionalism, accountability.
Institutions such as the police is not only central to individual safety, but also to improving the business environment, as well as catalyzing economic development and competitiveness.
So you have to develop practical, measurable indicators of police behavior, police conduct, police performance in relationship to elements within the law. So the law, in a broad sense, is not what we're implementing. There are indicators of the provisions.
From intelligence gathering to training communities on early warning, early response mechanisms, police still beat people into getting confessions instead of using IT skills in trying to know exactly what happened.
A technical session holds afterwards, and hopefully deliberations held will impact the Reform Act. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
In other news, federal government is reassuring Nigerians of its commitment towards deploying all the energy and resources to ensure that Kaduna Standard Gauge Rail project becomes a success. Minister of Transportation Mohamed Sambo stated this while on an inspection visit to the site. Amin Umar reports.
The minister's first port of call was Yako in Kiru local government, a village that is hosting a yard for the project that is there in the heart of people and government of Kano State, as well as the federal government. Kaduna Standard Gauge Rail project, which was earlier scheduled to be completed within 36 months, but reviewed to 18 months, is now 11 months at 12% level of completion, with track lane to commence on November from Makarpi to Kano. This is as a result of some challenges, including an adjustment of the work from single to double track. The Minister Maadu Sambo said federal government will engage all the key stakeholders to ensure that all the obstacles are surmounted.
Because we intend to give all our energies and all we have to make sure that this project is a success.
At the University of Transportation, Daura, the minister expressed satisfaction with the progress of the work, which started a year ago.
But I can see evidence of real commitment, and the ministry has done sufficiently enough to get them motivated.
It was earlier scheduled to be delivered in September this year. The contractors, however, asked for a new date, which the minister gave them 2 weeks to fix the date and forward to the ministry for consideration. In Kano, Amin Umar, NTA News.
It was another joyous moment in Rivers State as Governor Wike and his entourage were accorded a warm welcome for the inauguration of the Ogbunabali Eastern Bypass Road, which before now was inadequate for vehicular movement. Ugedi Nyekwere reports that former Governor of Sokoto State, Ali Wamako, was the special guest for the project inauguration.
Ogbunabali is one of the communities in Port Harcourt City local government area that has been engulfed by the cosmopolitan nature of Port Harcourt, though it can be described as one of the highbrow areas in Port Harcourt as it plays host to the old government residential area and the River State Government House. The roads in the area was a far cry from what could be desired, but with the reconstruction and landscaping, it has enhanced the area. Governor Wike says his passion to transform River State has compelled him to continue working even as he prepares to exit office. He lifted the ban on youth activities in Ogbunabali and fulfilled the monetary promise he made to the community.
It is not because I'm in PDP one performing. It is because I have that passion for my people. It is because I have the commitment to serve my people. The problem we have in this country today, we don't have people who have that passion, who want to serve their people.
Former Governor of Sokoto State, Ali Wamako, who inaugurated the road, says the relevance of any government is the extent to which it attempts to serve and address the yearnings and aspirations of the people.
Let me repeat again that Governor Wike, you are very dynamic, very courageous, and talk and do governor of River State, which nobody can deny you.
The Ogbunabali Eastern Bypass Road, before its reconstruction, was a single carriageway which urbanization has made grossly inadequate for the increased vehicular movements. In Port Harcourt, Ugedi Nyekwere, NTA News.
Henceforth, developers are to be constantly reminded that the era of using unqualified construction firms will no longer be tolerated by the Council for the Regulation of Engineering Practice in Nigeria, COREN. This is one of the reasons for the increasing cases of building collapse in Nigeria, as cited by professionals at the opening of the theatered COREN Engineering Assembly holding in Abuja. The Assembly is an annual event for stock-taking and to professionally discuss technological innovations, advancements and problems of engineering and ways to address them. The Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma says review of environmental laws is critical to stemming the tide of oil theft in the country. He stated this when he received the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timbre Silva, on a courtesy visit at the Government House, Owerri. Beatrice Anyim reports.
The Minister of State for Petroleum, Timbre Silva, and his entourage, among whom are the Chief of Defence Staff, General Lucky Irabo, and the Group Managing Director, NNPC, are in Government House, Owerri, to seek collaboration of the Imo State Government and other stakeholders towards checking oil theft in the country. Governor Hope Uzodimma says there is need to strengthen environmental laws by creating a strong enforcement unit that will ensure that laws against crude oil theft are obeyed.
The state government, under my watch, will do our best to support oil-producing companies in our state. We'll do our best to collaborate with federal government to ensure that none of their programs are sabotaged. And on the side of federal government, we need support.
While explaining the growing concerns over crude oil theft across the Niger Delta region, the Minister of Petroleum, Timbre Silva, says crude oil theft has become a national emergency that requires urgent and collective effort to check.
Our OPEC quota today is about 1.8 million barrels per day. And for the past several months, we've been doing an average of 1.4. And you can see how much money we are losing every day.
Armed forces and other security agencies are available to receive whatever support in terms of information, and then, of course, bringing out or letting us know those who are behind this criminal enterprise for them to take the appropriate action.
In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
And for more reports on the news, let's join Hingino in Lagos. Hello, Hingino.
Lazy, it's good to see you. There is a wave of ease around the port corridor in Lagos as the once tense atmosphere occasioned by the gridlock is gradually relaxing and paving way for trade to thrive. This huge progress is anchored by the precision in enforcing the presidential mandate of Free the Port Corridor. Michael Olale has details.
Not a port holiday, as the scenario here suggested, but rather a clear indication that the once congested corridor is surrendering to intense pressure. A development that is already sending waves of excitement within the port community. For transporters like Daniel Fawayimi, the disappearance of the trucks is calming the nerves of operators, giving way for genuine businesses to be done quickly.
No, they do not allow any vehicle to park. No congestion, no delay, no anything. Everywhere is free. We are all happy about it.
To guide against a relapse in the gains recorded, the Port's standing tax team moved round the corridor, making a stop at suspicious flashpoints. But for all the successes recorded along the Apapa corridor, there are build-up of trucks and articulated vehicles on the outbound lane at Tinkan Island ports.
Until we get free access into our port and to guarantee the efficiency of service delivery in our port, there is no way are we able to achieve, the objective, principally of being at least the West African hub of the marine industry as far as our region is concerned.
This meeting is to assess the progress achieved in 3 months since the tax team was inaugurated, with a view to identify areas of challenges. The national coordinator singled out state actors using the corridor as collection points.
We are going to commence some targeted sting operations at night. When we remove those actors there, everything fizzles out. All those things you see at night, it's not a free for all. There's a control of those people coming.
While efforts to open up the entire 27-kilometer axis stretching from the Lagos Port Complex to Ijora and Orile continue, businesses that has disappeared in Apapa, for instance, are now resurfacing. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The West African Examination Council, WAEC, has recorded 5.34% decrease in performance of candidates who obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. Head of the Nigerian National Office, Patrick Aregon, made this known while briefing the media on 2022 results. Exactly 45 days after the last paper of the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, results have been released.
Candidates who sat the examination.
Announcing the development, head of the Nigerian National Office revealed that out of the 1,601,047 candidates that sat for the examination, 1,409,529, representing 88.04%, obtained credits and above in a minimum of any 5 subjects, with or without English language or mathematics, while 1,222,505 candidates, representing 76.36%, obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects, including English language and mathematics. This, he says, is a decline from last year's 81.7%.
The activities of road website operators and the so-called miracle centers did not go unnoticed, as the council was able to identify and apprehend these unpatriotic fellows through the help of security operatives. The council will continue to sanction all cases of examination malpractice. Schools, supervisors, teachers, and candidates perpetrating this evil and not helping the educational system.
The WAEC boss in the country assured those with few subjects withheld due to unresolved issues that their results will be released within 1 week. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for another break. The news will be back shortly.
Come to the National Center for Women Development, a home away from home. With our beautifully renovated hotel, the center can also boast of a 1,700-seater auditorium for conferences. The edifice has an African, continental, and Arabian restaurants, a daycare creche for nursing mothers. There is also an ICT department for computer training, and also a training department for catering, tailoring, and hairdressing. For more information, please contact the National Center for Women Development, Tafa Balewa Way, opposite the Central Bank of Nigeria's CBN headquarters, Central District Area, Abuja, or telephone 070-511-1163. National Center for Women Development, rebranding, restructuring, and repositioning.
Never again should this happen. We have passed through this path before, and it was not good for us. I remember the horror, the crime, the blood, dead bodies everywhere. I almost lost my mind. I could not sleep. I remember the cry of innocent children. Many lives were changed forever. We shall never go through that path again. Let us all stand in solidarity with our armed forces, our men and women. All, we must stand in truth, in honesty, to build a vibrant nation, a nation that you and I can be proud of.
Nigeria Gulf Federation announces its first Nigeria Gulf Federation Summit. This summit will discuss salient topical issues that relate to the development and upliftment of Gulf in Nigeria. Chairman General IBM Haruna, Special Guest of Honor, Honorable Minister of Sports, Mr. Sunday Dare, Convener Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, OON, President Nigeria Gulf Federation. Date 31st August to 2nd September 2022. Venue Ladikwali Hall, Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. prompt. This event is supported by Polaris Bank, Nigerian Television Authority NTA, Africa Independent Television AIT, Gulf Garden, Anchor Insurance, and Royal Ceramics. Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, OON, President Nigeria Gulf Federation, announcer.
When we wanted to move faster and see more of the world, we found a way. We also found ways to connect beyond boundaries. And when an unprecedented pandemic tried to derail us, we found ways to get ahead.
Are we ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Ready. As your bank, we have stayed proactive, creating dynamic solutions and leveraging cutting-edge technology to drive global expansion into new markets. We rolled up our sleeves to be human together, doing more, innovating smarter, and always showing up for you. So come on board. Let's give you more. Access more than banking.
Music is fuel that fires up our souls. Today, African music has a dominant place on the world map. This massive music movement creating waves across the globe.
I have seen the evolution and the growth of this industry.
But every movement starts with a story. And the best place to start any story is at the very beginning.
It's a ceremonial energy that can only have come from Africa.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. And for updates in the world of business, we have a busy businessman, Benny, for details.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and welcome to Business. Reactions have trailed the approval by the federal government for acquisition of share capital of mobile producing Nigeria Unlimited by Seplat Energy, while many see it as a way to deepen investment in the energy sector and boost the drive for foreign direct investment. Some of the view that all requirements in the Petroleum Industry Act should be carefully followed.
We welcome the idea that the President, in his capacity as Minister of Petroleum, has given this approval to Seplat, a local company. I applaud it, and I think that is the right direction. But then, before it becomes operational, it should go through the process where the Austrian Commission will do their bit and ensure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed to ensure that Nigeria benefits and the ordinary Nigerian gets the benefit of the oil and gas assets.
And still talking energy, oil prices reversed early losses and traded higher on Tuesday, despite the latest progress in last-ditch talks to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear accord, which would clear the way to boost its crude exports in a tight market. Brent crude futures added 1.15% to trade at $97.76 per barrel. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures stood at $91.66 for a gain of 1% after climbing 2% in the previous session. Traders will be watching out for weekly US oil invent. And on the capital markets, the market today hit a new low by 2.26% as investors lost 614 billion naira. Market capitalization stood at 26.6 trillion naira. 140.6 million shares valued at 1.6 billion naira exchanged hands in 3,895 deals. Jopol, Gold, ICO, and Sterling Bank led in volume. That is business news. Network News continues with Elizabeth.
Thank you, Benny. Still on economic matters, the European Union, EU, is investing 1.12 million euros to strengthen the capacity for implementation of key national economic policies and initiatives, including documentation and visibility of EU projects in Nigeria. Head of Cooperation, EU Delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Cecil Tassin, gave the insight at the unveiling of the projects in Abuja. Neka Oko reports.
The formulation of economic policy strategies to promote growth, job creation, and inclusive national development has been a regular feature in Nigeria's democratic transformation. The Medium-Term National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 is the latest in line of such strategies and promises to surmount some of the challenges that marred the success of previous plans. While the creation of these policies at various points in the country's transition has been indicative of a commitment to economic progress, implementing them has been severely tested by many factors, including capacity of relevant implementing institutions. This is why these officers drawn from overseas MDAs under the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning are meeting to build their capacity for the implementation of the new National Development Plan.
The project that we are launching today is to assist the Ministry with their efforts to design and implement the best practice economic policy proposals.
You can call this training of trainers, okay, so that we want to explain the program to them, the plan, so that when they go out to other MDAs, because not all the MDAs are here.
The project received the endorsement of other supporting partners.
The Nigerian Development Partners Group has an important role in ensuring well-coordinated support from the international community to the government in the achievement of its medium and long-term objectives.
The project is expected to last 18 months. Neka Uku, NTA News.
The approval of $2.5 billion for the development of the Badagry deep sea port in Lagos State has reaffirmed the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari's philosophy of private sector leadership in its economic development agenda. A statement signed by the chairman, Buhari Media Organization BMO Ni Akinshiju, states that and manage it for 45 years before the final takeover by the federal government. The project, to be developed in 4 phases, will help the country generate revenue of $53.6 billion over the concession period, as well as create jobs and attract foreign direct investments, culminating in an improvement in the well-being of Nigerians. INEC says it has not recognized any candidate from Yobe North and Akwa Ibom North West senatorial districts in respect to Senators Ahmed Lawan and Godswill Akpabio. The Commission was reacting to an online publication alleging that INEC has doctored, backdated and certified documents to accommodate Senators Lawan and Godswill Akpabio. In a statement by INEC's National Commissioner for Information, Festus Okoye, the Commission calls for responsible reportage as against the unwarranted attack on the Commission and its officials over a matter that can be easily fact-checked. Millions voted in Kenya's closely fought polls in search of the country's next president. Charles Alpha takes a look at the country's political history and the general elections that just ended with counting of votes underway.
More than 22 million Kenyan voters took to the polls to choose who will be their leader for the next 5 years. President Uhuru Kenyatta, who was elected in the 2013 general election, became the 4th elected president after Jomo Kenyatta, who ruled from 1964 to 1978. Kenya's longest-serving president, Daniel Arap, 1978 to 2002. Mwai Kibaki ruled from 2002 to 2013. And now, outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta brings to an end a 9-year reign. 4 men have presented themselves to succeed President Kenyatta: the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Vice President Williams Ruto, David Wahiga, and George Wajakoya. Polls were opened early, recording a large turnout of voters nationwide. A candidate needs more than half of all votes and at least 25% of votes in more than half of Kenya's 47 counties. No outright winner means a runoff election within 30 days.
They just started counting like the presidential ballots, and after that they will count the governor and then, for the county assembly and the Senate.
Kenya's Electoral Commission is yet to announce the total turnout, but about an hour before polls closed, just over 56% of the 22 million registered voters had cast their ballots. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Time to head to Kaduna, where Sulaiman is standing by with some reports. Nice to see you, Sulaiman.
Elizabeth, and welcome. Security has been beefed up along Abuja-Kaduna highway as part of mop-up exercise to flush terrorists and kidnappers operating along that corridor. Omar Ajingi reports that the combined security personnel are combing bushy areas suspected to serve as criminals' den.
The main duty of this security personnel along Kaduna-Abuja highway is to ensure safety of motorists flying the road against any form of threat, especially by terrorists or kidnappers. And this is in compliance with the presidential directives of Operation No Mercy Against Terrorist Groups. There is relative calm along the corridor following sustained surveillance by armed security personnel. Motorists flying the road attested to the result of this operation.
The road is now safe. The military are trying their best.
Our police deserve commendation. Our security forces do not deserve condemnation. Our security forces do not deserve people to come with stories that will not motivate them.
Communities along the highway such as Rujan and Kateri, considered flashpoints, are now happy with the measures taken to secure the area.
Since the beginning of this operation, we didn't experience any kidnapping in the area.
The resident said the exercise has been a success, with security operatives making inroads into the criminals' den. In Kaduna, Umarajiki, NTA News.
Communities in Kaduna metropolis residing along riverbank have been exercising fear over possible flood, as predicted by the Nigeria Meteorological Agency. They are, however, advised to take precautionary measures to mitigate the disaster. Haruna Mohammed has the details.
There are 4 bridges over River Kaduna, including the recently constructed 270 meters bridge linking Kabala Costin and Barnawa, among which is this one with a water level indicator. And as it is, the water level indicator is at the amber level, signaling warning for an impending flooding.
Residents of Kabala Costin, Abubakar Kigo Road, Ungwarimi, and some parts of Barnawa are areas affected by flooding during rain season as a result of overflow of River Kaduna. The reoccurrence of this type of disaster over the years claimed lives and property worth millions of naira.
Where they show you this drilling, government don't come to starting drilling. Inshallah, the drilling it will help people to go come again.
The situation is further compounded by the inability of these communities to provide embankments along the riverside. Prediction has it that Kaduna is among states to witness flooding, and some parts of Kaduna North, Kaduna South, and Chukun local government areas are likely to be affected. Government, on its part, is taking steps to address the fears of communities residing along the bank of River Kaduna.
We have commenced, sensitization of, people that are, residing around these areas, to desist from dumping waste in waterways.
However, waterways and drainages remain blocked as people continue to dump refuse indiscriminately, which is another factor contributing to flooding. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
More reports ahead with Elizabeth in Abuja after the break.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions through violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Talking sports now, the city of Victoria in Australia will host the next Commonwealth Games in 2026. Let's join Abdullah Ajia on how the curtain was drawn at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham.
It's been 11 days of games, fun, anxiety, happy and sad moments for athletes, countries and territories of the Commonwealth nations, including Team Nigeria, who made the list of the 5,000 athletes who competed for laurels and glory.
I came here with one mandate, which is to have fun, and yeah, I really had fun. Even when COVID hit me, I didn't run the 100. I was just saying, it doesn't matter, I'm here to have fun, I end my season good, and yeah, I did. I ended good, and I'm happy about it.
Amazon is on fire this season, and she has forgotten how to lose. Brilliant by the Nigerian.
Just like the colourful opening ceremony, done in a rich British cultural and modern fashion, the closing ceremony was not short of a beautiful display to behold. As the curtain closed, this historic chapter of the 22nd edition of the Commonwealth Games in Alexandra Stadium in Birmingham, England.
On behalf of Her Majesty the Queen, our patron, and in the name of the Commonwealth Games Federation, I proclaim Birmingham 2022 closed.
Of course, the sterling performance and successes of participating nations like Nigeria finishing 7th is still being cherished, with moments that reignite and inspire hope for Nigeria's future sporting outing. The city of Victoria in Australia will be the next host destination for the 2026 Commonwealth Games. 4 years from now. Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
And that's the news. Thank you so much for watching. Do remember to always take action against rape and rapists. I'm Elizabeth Omori.
Man, naturally, is created with lots of ego. Ego to propel him to rise, move, push, and succeed. That is a normal situation. Lots of times, this ego is found missing in the right dose, giving man an overrated or low value, self-esteem. How can we keep it in the right order? How does it affect our daily lives? Can we regroom it where altered? Join us for answers on Wednesday, 10th of August 2022 at 9 a.m. Let's have a chat. The event is Conversations on NTA.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Do you run a breast or cervical cancer service? Are you a private or public laboratory, clinic, or hospital that offer any of breast imaging, cervical cancer screening, HPV vaccination, or other breast or cervical cancer services? Is your service a primary, secondary, or tertiary center located in any part of Nigeria, no matter how remotely located it is? If yes to any of these questions, then subscribe to the OCI Foundation's Save a Breast app and become accessible and visible to millions of Nigerians. It is all for free. To subscribe, just type the Save a Breast application form on Google or go to the OCI Foundation's page on www.ocifoundation.org and search for Save a Breast application form. Complete the form and submit. And let millions of Nigerians patronize you, all for free. Become part of the OCI Foundation's quest to tackle breast and cervical cancers in Nigeria. And join us to rise by lifting others.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
The counsel of our fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as the elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
I greet you. You're welcome, sir. Hold on. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. How you doing? Good. In charity. Please, stop. Come and collect my orders. I don't have energy to come to that place too. I say, where do you go? Come and take order. What do you? You stick? No. Let the pay. No. Your wife can't visit you because they talk without energy. Hey. You travel to this. You don't understand. You don't understand. See, you see me, you see me. What do I do now? You see, I rehearse and I practice how I go take to do when I don't have, when I don't know finish. Baba, the sleep one kind special sleep. You don't understand. I'm telling you. You see that you're looking at me now. By the time when everything don't clear, when you don't clear, the thing when you want to go for this place, for this young or cheap cash restaurant, you will shout hallelujah, my brother. But even you, man, without your respect, you are going to respect me. I'm the way you just till then, I trust you. I believe you. You have to fight back. Hold up. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hold up. Well, I hope you have not joined those boys that play football better than the line. With my mom. Every time you want to talk about constructive business strategy like this, now you go to the fair and carry your money up to the use. No, so, let me tell you something. Before I continue, thank you, please. Do you have a I want to go the Yoruba way now. You understand? Give me a hand and something smooth. I have okro or ewedu. No. Ewedu. Thank you. I'm talking about my mom. So, do what I'm saying. Make it do that. Which one you know? Something. I think I'm done with this. I'm okay. Okay, yeah. Thank you. That's it. Where do it's not how I want it. I thought. I'm interested in cash out. Yes. You say he's expecting something. Now the main thing for Nigeria, anything for everywhere. You understand? Okay, let me give you an example. Just yesterday, I used one that. God forbid, who that can give another. I used 100 naira take pay. Only yesterday. It's all news. I made 5,000. Oh yeah, 5,000. See, now so I will gather small. Let them Bugao. You have joined those boys in the life to be better with my money. Every time I talk, you see I'm betting with the money. I'm betting. Now 100 naira they make for you, G. Small by small. You win 100, like win 5,000. The one that you lose, did you tell us? Do you tell us? It's part of the business strategy. You win some, you lose some. That is how it is. Good. See, I would like follow you, God. Who just? Because me, I hear say men they cash out for this betting thing. Well, every weekend guys they cash out for. Fear don't allow me bet. I don't want to dash these people money. Gentlemen, thank you. Betting is not by force. And as I always advise, if you know you want to bet or want to gamble, do with something you know you can easily part with. Do you understand? It's not at the end of the day, after losing, you have come front to the police officer. You have. It's not good. Please think about it. Because as the team was targeting a champion, I get the eye. I had a ship of big thing. But like I talked to you before, fear the cash me. Because I know you have to leave. Go bet, go lose. Oh yeah, when you feel like I'm very beat. Tell up to you with that. Your best in the walk. You will make you attract yourself. Mommy, your face too, mommy. Nah, 200 naira. So how much they can complain? Nah, 12K. 12K. You know what you want? 12K now. Take another K. You understand? That is the business pattern. So that you can come up with this reading. Another 12K, play back to 12K. Me, make I use this money where I get like this, take play game. Auto wait now. Eh? See, make I tell you, I know they use money where I no fit dash person. They do that kind of thing. If the game don't pass 500 naira, count me out. Charity, give me food now. Now who belle food now in the play game?
Only 20 naira she used to play. Only 20 naira she collect 12K.
I beg, give me something to make a
see that.
To aside. To aside. You mean you to aside, outside. Sharp. You see, if they follow no road. You for junction.
I think I will follow you. You go.
Yeah, but I dey come Charity. Arrange my food, make I see my food.
As na dey go outside so, make my sissy do enter on the bed. And when you come return, go straight to the kitchen. You go clean every plate and pot wey dey there. And for your information, money, today money, remove am from your salary. You sit down with them, you dey talk. Na my work you dey do be that. Go outside, go finish your thing for outside. Go finish am quick. Go finish am. Sharp.
All I do is win. I wake up, I win. I close my eyes, and I win. We get a match. Keep up on me, come on, let's keep it, let the world stop spinning. Independent women, come on, now let's get it. I'ma keep it, let the world stop.
Wow, you look great. Did you just come from the salon? Darling Superstar, great birthday for lawn fresh, no matter what.
The power, the performance, concentrated power, concentrated performance, the partnership of concentrated power. SoTi, the official regional partner of Paris Saint-Germain.
Tell us now. Yeah. How you they get this game where they enter? Because every time now, so one ticket, one game, then they got my ticket.
See, and if you look, be laughing my cup with this, I swear to me, I did interested.
Interested. Oh, don't be smart, no. You go feed. Tell us.
dey up. That one no be anything. As e be like this so now, I wan bros for our compound. Anytime wey you go tell me say make I try. But I hear say na buy him dey buy o. But very soon me I go begin buy.
Please, you see this thing now, Anytime wey that man he come give you the code, make you dey give us, make we sef go dey try out now. See, me you dey see now.
Me Efe, make me give you na code. I no dey for una wahala. I no wan hear say game cut, e no cut. I no dey for una wahala, abeg. I no dey for una wahala.
See, Auntie P, you see, last, now everybody go chop breakfast. I said, we go take am as it be. If he cut me, he cut.
Make he cut.
If he cut me, he cut.
Pikin wey go die, go die. If he cut me, he cut.
You sure? Oya na no lele. Make I go chop my chow.
No, wait. Abeg now, you know say you don't have now. It's your boys now.
Na longer throat go kill you. Since when your own dey enter, when no dey cut, when you dey cash out, you give me. You give me where I be woman. Not to even talk of no say we be your party like this. You give her.
If you know to reason like that, you know say anytime wey I don't cash out like that, you are always out of network coverage area. Now wetin dey happen be that? We say I no wan share.
See, we don't face no shame for this matter, but you wear your shoe shine. You say you don't come on my mouth.
You is sure for you, but you see you shish, you no go.
If you no do like that, now be your party o.
Say go chop.
Shish, you no go. Forget it. This one way you sent for me, I never match line.
You have not much line. You have not much line. There is something very important I want us to discuss. Very, very important.
I dey hear you.
The other day, how much did you from your bed? How much?
12K.
With the 12 hours. I was tempted to be part of the discussion, but my friend didn't pick up what it did. See, I'm interested. I'm very, very interested. Chief, do not allow this boss to make you change your mind.
Thank you, sir.
No, you're not to mention.
Thank you, sir.
Not to mention. But I must warn you, don't to put too much money. This gambling have killed many people. You put smaller money, so even if you lose it, you will not to joke.
Actually, thank you. You know, when they say you sent for me, so my mind they be.
You want to check it?
Oh, the truth is, say, even me, they use my head. They use my my compound people. They talk say use better money, make you win big money. I say no. I know they do pass my power. Now waiting my power reach, now I go use the money where I no fit dash person. I no go use that. And as I don't play so far, I don't win like 3 times. And Oga Chidi, I know they do gambling, no. Now betting, they bet.
You know the gambling, you know that. Something. If you hear what I said, don't to put too much in it. This game sometimes it comes to some half. So if you lose, it will not choke you. Don't to get addicted. Did you hear me?
I hear you. Chidi.
You get good game that you are very strong. Let them enough.
Chidi. You go play?
You see not to business.
No, that one no be problem. Anytime where I see say again where short day, I go wire and give you now.
That is why I call you here.
No wahala now. You know, but me I tell you, no be all game. Na insurance. Some dey call. Stop. Na straight. You go
I don't understand.
Some dey
ticket they call.
Gachidi, when you enter and you go understand what you understand.
Not call. I want for my money. You know, no, I will buy you the because you see this business. Don't do that no. Don't do that. Don't to tell anybody. Me,
Me again. You say me I know they talk anyhow. I know they talk until they know they make me I talk. You say make I talk, I will talk. See, this is very secret between me and between us. I'm surprised. You want me? See, I know they talk too much. Anyone when you say make I talk, you won't make I tell Udo, I go tell her. If you say make I not tell her to tell her, it's a secret. You don't know me. Don't tell him. He's my boy. He will not do anything, but don't tell him. Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Looking fresh for your date? Get even fresher with Close Up. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula. It cleans deeply, fights 99% of bacteria, and cools intensely. Keeping you protected and fresh.
Protected and fresh. Protected and fresh. Picture. Protected and fresh.
Still fresh, still protected.
Feeling cool and protected.
All day confidence to get close. New Close Up Triple Fresh formula.
When times are tough, we know that as a mother, one thing you should never compromise on is your family's oral health, because they deserve the best. Oral-B, all-round protection. It's great value. It protects your mouth from harmful bacteria and also protects you against tooth holes and gum problems, which can lead to tooth loss. It strengthens your family's teeth and gives them all-round protection. So remember, protect their future. Oral-B for healthier, stronger teeth in just 1 week.
Shy. I don't like. I tell her I'm sure. Go down show. You want a view and no one. What's wrong with that now? Now the reason why we don't do it. Back. Fall back. Okay. You know, I say see they ought to make I see una because I know they try your number. See, your number no they go.
You know, say for my area, I see network, they bad where I've been telling why they come down, most of them,
that place you go pack about. If you play this game and this game enter, oh my not to pack come up with that to go back.
Remember that I was given.
Okay, Chief, I don't forget you. And they come.
Show.
You check out.
You never check. I told you that I was going to play. So, there are some things that I want you to buy. So, I will buy. I won't go for it. Teach me how to do updating.
That's cheating. Your matana like a person with a marry wife give. Because they ask
Watch out.
And because they are you, I will do that kind of thing. You
download the app. You will take that app. Oh yeah, take that. No. Well, download.
I'm not going to take that.
I know. Download. I have that.
You don't say. The game too short now. The game be like short game. We say everybody go just cash out. People with this year leave away don't go ticket anyhow.
So I see the game this evening. So I just the effects. Choose the effects anyhow. This game people will come with it.
The game be like short games. Yeah? The game too short for person to lose am.
Just imagine, I don't use almost 5,000 to play this game. I swear.
I use almost 5,000 play this game. Thank God, see, I use my moscopic sense. They content message.
We will be saying that. I said, on then you still they pay me.
It's came back up the region.
If I don't try. No. Nice. You don't say, you sense.
From see, no sense. I come here, parachute. I know I should feel, but no worry. You know, say you just want that song. Now you did better thing wake up. I mean,
what else? Just what else? What else? No be money. And even that no be young. They tell say what else no be money. Yeah? If you believe Liverpool will go call this a bit person talk. You get caught one time. Got to put it again.
Chidi, you're welcome. You know we play one game for this morning now, so the ticket they just got.
Put the ticket they got or say or something.
The ticket got now. We play game this morning. The ticket got now. Maybe you all give me give us. I mean, the game where you give us now we play.
It is not possible. I cannot lose more. But your country, now 1,000 naira you take play now. 1,000 naira. 100,000. You do that. I did not listen. I did it. Think I called you.
Issues in the sports sector remain one of the most debated among Nigerians due to the passion, followership, government involvement, impact on Nigeria's external image and our national life in the sports parliament. For NTA.
Hello and welcome. This is NTA Tuesday Live and I'm Cyril Stober. Tonight we focus on the causes, the impact and how to overcome economic adversity. Now the global economy has dominated international politics owing to negative growth indices affecting various sectors, with countries facing severe shocks like currency devaluation, energy crises, food shortages, inflation, and a diminishing will to foster mutually beneficial relations, especially in areas of comparative advantage. Now, Nigeria is not exempt from these harsh economic times, but existing policies and periodic reviews aim at cushioning the shocks to some of the very critical sectors. Now, to put Nigeria's economy in perspective in relation to the impact of the current global challenges and performance index, we have assembled some experts from different sectors. But before we go into the discussion, let's see this report by our business desk correspondent, Musa Abubakar.
Purchasing power of most people is diminishing as the cost of goods and services continue to soar in Nigeria. The National Bureau of Statistics' latest inflation showed Nigeria's inflation rate hit 65-month high at 18.6% in June 2022.
There's been a lot of challenge with the managers of the economies of the world, even in developed economy. And Nigeria is not an isolation in this particular. If you check the Federal Reserve, the US Federal Reserve, the current inflation, the current interest rate is about a figure that is in the last 28 years the highest. If you go back to the UK, you will see that the Bank of England is actually grappling with an inflation which has been the highest in the last 40 years. And for 5 consecutive months, it has actually had to increase interest rate.
Is a worldwide problem attributed to supply chain disruptions caused by COVID-19 and further exacerbated by the Ukraine-Russia war, leading to rising energy cost, high cost of fertilizer, and disruption in wheat supply.
Food crisis is a real worry, and it's not just about this year. I think it might be about next year, even beyond that. And the reason I'm saying that is if countries are not able to get fertilizer to plant the next crop, those that need fertilizer, then yields are going to be lower. There'll be less supply in the world across the board of all types of grains and food. If we are not able to evacuate the 25 million tons or thereabout of Ukrainian grain that is presently stored, and the harvest is next month for another 25 million tons, then that's going to be really, really difficult for the world.
Is a cost of living crisis for many, but monetary authorities are not without plan to address inflation and to boost export in a bid to strengthen the naira.
Committee resolved to increase the NPR by 100 basis points from 13% to 14%. Members were conscious of the fact that output growth remained fragile. However, not containing inflation now could erode the moderate gains achieved in improving consumer purchasing power and thus worsen poverty levels for the vulnerable populace.
But it's also important.
On the fiscal side, the target is to widen the tax net and reduce cost of governance. The International Monetary Fund is urging countries to prioritize bringing down inflation, provision of social safety net for the vulnerable, and containing rising death.
All right, that report sets the tone for tonight's discussion. Let's start off by introducing our guests. I'd like to welcome to this program Dr. Kayode Okwefa. He is a mobility expert and executive director, Center for Sustainable Mobility and Access Development. Dr. Okwefa, thanks for being with us here.
Good day.
All right. We're also joined by Alhaji Idris Shuaibu Mikati, Chairman, Institute of Directors, Center for Corporate Governance, a former banker, member at Dangote Group, and an expert in banking and finance. He is a fellow Institute of Directors. He joins us from our Lagos Network Center. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
Okay. Let me also welcome to this program Professor Ken Ife, a development economist. He joins us via Zoom from London. Prof, good evening.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Okay. As we always do, we acquaint you with the procedure of this program, and you also know that at the appropriate time you can get to be part of the discussion in the studio. The lines will be on air. But for now, we will start off. When it gets to that time, we'll remind you of the procedure when you can be part of the discussion in the studio. For now, let's start off this discussion. And seeing that we have a development economist with us tonight, let's ask Professor Ken Ife to put for us in true perspective the state of the Nigerian economy. What has been the major challenge? You know, if we take aside corruption since independence, what would we say are the major factors that have been working against what many might see as the economic growth of the nation's economy, of Nigeria, given its population and its resources?
First and foremost, as you know, is the pervasive insecurity that is present in all the 6 geopolitical zones. And the first impact of it is loss of business confidence, investor confidence in the economy. They can see how they will be investing in an economy and risking their lives and also risking their properties. So they are taking a backseat. But there are many other factors in the air about why investors are beating a retreat from investing in Nigeria. But we also have the domestic investors also feeling the heat. And don't forget that domestic investors are very, very paramount right now because we are having vaporization of FDI, foreign direct investment, and also portfolio investments. And we are even having a significant drop in the diaspora investment, remittances, which is also being helping. Now, the second area to look at, apart from what insecurity is causing, is structural factors that we still haven't been able to get on top of. We know how chronic shortage of power and the damage is doing to the economy. Manufacturers are complaining, 77% of them says that they just can't produce. And then you have transport costs that is so high that is pushing up input costs. And then you also have studies that show that 66% of our manufacturers are actually saying that they are using their own power 90% of the time. So that tells you one part of the story. But I think the one that is really bringing us to the cliff is the energy. The energy exacerbated by the role of NNPC at this current moment. And the fact that Nigeria's economy is still essentially an import-dependent economy. And what that means, in effect, is that our economy is on the transmission belt of global supply chain. And that implies that anything that happens anywhere in the world, whether it's COVID or Ukraine war or America-China showdown, trade war, all of them affect Nigeria. You are going to ask me the question, if we are producing gas and fuel and crude, as Russia is doing, why would Russia affect us? The fact of this is because we are an import-dependent economy, Russia supplying 40% of gas to Europe and turning down the tap. whatever they produce in Europe, we are going to import, will come in with imported inflation. So that's the catch-22. And then, of course, you have grains. We have the grains from Ukraine and wheat, and we are consuming bread. So the fact that we are on that trajectory makes us so vulnerable. And these are just some of them. A lot more to talk about, because the foreign exchange is a big dimension that is, firing the. So we'll come back to this, I believe, over time.
All right. So, Prof, in very simple terms, what it means is that when the world sneezes, we catch a cold. There's no two ways about it, right?
Well, I think so. And our diversification index is just one, compared to many countries that have as much as, 7 in the case of Cote d'Ivoire and South Africa. So all of those, if anything happens on one, then on one item, then they can get the counterbalance from the others. But we are so okay. 70% to 80% of our forex revenue is coming from crude and gas. So what that means that all the things that we have to buy, import from outside, are so hopelessly dependent on that supply mismatch. And then if you look at last year now, NMPs have not been sending any dollars. They usually should send about $3 billion to Central Bank, but they haven't been sending. For the whole of last year, and you saw how JP Morgan delisted us from overnight weight, because they said, how can we be getting money and they can't see it in this? So that's that. Although they are now claiming that they have put in 2-point-something billion, but if you take out the real one that actually gets sent is about 1.86 billion, divided by 6 months, only 300 million, compared to $3 billion that you should have been coming in, all the way from 2014, sometimes up to $3.4 billion. So it is difficult. If you know how to describe it, it's very, very difficult. The other methods, other ways of getting dollar are just not there. The diaspora remittance has gone down. It used to be at peak of 26 billion. Now it's only about $100 million a week. It's about over $5 billion. Not anywhere near what it used to be. Foreign direct investment is gone. The portfolio is gone because America has reflated their currency. In January, mid-January this year, the basket of index, the USD basket of index, which measures USD across Japan, Euro, and China, all of them, it was about 87, it was about 94.5.
Okay.
But the last week, it was about 107. And next, going forward, it's going to go to about 50. So the fact of it's over 12%, the reflection of that currency, every country that has anything to do with America is catching the code. Okay. And dollar is just 1-to-1 with euro. And so we're taking that hit. Unbelievably, we are. So there are many things that are coming into this equation that, is simply because we can't balance what we are getting in from what we are being demanded. CBN spends $1.8 billion every month. That is what they should be spending, compared to over $4 billion that is being requested by the market. And they can't even get the 1.8 billion. So, and then people will simply turn and say, do magic. What magic? Print dollar? We can't do that.
All right, Prof. Let's go back to Lagos and go over to Alhaji Idris Shuaibu Mikachi and put the same question. When you heard Prof, there are so many things responsible, and it would seem as if these challenges are almost insurmountable.
Mr. Stover, I think, to say the least, even though I'm not a Chelsea fan, impossible is nothing. These challenges, indeed, are not insurmountable. If anything, with willpower, with courage, and with the level of intellectual pedigree that God has blessed this country with, these challenges are indeed nothing. If you look at the trajectory of Nigeria's economic history, if you like the political economic history of Nigeria, let's dimension it from, if you like, pre-independent, independent, post-independence, and the military years, and, down to the democratic dispensation that we are. prior to independence, we were just producing raw materials to export to colonial masters. Post-independence, 1960, 65, thereabout, this country continued that economic model by just producing raw materials. Is it groundnut? Is it rubber? Is it cocoa? You know, even the tin and columbite, as well as the coal that we produce from Enugu, we're just transporting, you know, raw materials to, you know, developed countries to feed other economies. Fast forward post-independence, what policy, what industrialization policy did we pursue? What economic development policy did we pursue? Well, basically, if you like, we had what was then called import substitution. You know, we were trying to have semi-production capacity, and the idea was the high tech that we didn't have, either the knowledge or the know-how to do them locally, we import them, and then semi-production of kind of small, light, you know, raw materials that we need to process, like maize, groundnut, rubber. That's when we had the likes of Dunlop, Michelin coming into Nigeria, and the likes of Cadbury, Nestle coming into process, you know, our cocoa into chocolate and what have you. Fast forward after that, because there was a dominance of foreign, you know, companies, foreign-owned companies, you know, the military era then came up with, you know, indigenization decree. That indigenization decree, you know, nearly, you know, dealt a mortal blow to quite a number of industries. You know, you wanted Nigerians, or the government then wanted Nigerians to own companies and then own the production. But there was no interrogation of the level of capacity, financial capacity, knowledge